Hey, guys, welcome Monday. It is All In with CSN from CSN Studios here in Clemson, South Carolina. About a mile away as the crow flies from old Death Valley there. Lots of cool things to talk about. We recap the weekend, news we gathered, things that happened, and put a couple articles out this morning for you guys to digest as we get. But we're just steaming ahead towards football season. It's right down the corner. We're less than under 3 weeks. 2 weeks from Saturday, we'll have a kickoff here. Lots of hype. You got two top 10 teams now, a 4th-ranked Clemson and a 9th-ranked LSU, coming into the town. You're going to have LSU fans coming into town to visit us. Get your corn dogs ready. If you don't know the corn dog joke, it's a little joke between SEC fans and LSU fans that runs around. We're just playing with it. But hey, go check our Facebook feed, our Twitter, or our X, and our YouTube and our Instagram feeds. We've been feeding them up with lots of good stuff. That Facebook feed, guys, did over 2 million views last week. 2 million views on our Facebook feed. And I'm talking, that's a lot of eyeballs, and it was a lot of content. Believe me, we got good case of carpal tunnel going on here from all the typing and stuff we do here, putting content out. But as you know, we put out a website that puts out complete media coverage for the Tigers in every sport. We got a couple of things to talk about. Basketball is one on our ticker today, but it's all football again today. It's all football all this week. And then next week, we start our on-site shows. Next week on Friday, the 22nd, we'll be live at the Kiwi Marina doing this show live, all in with CSN with special guest hosts. We're going to have Tiger trivia, giveaways, and all kinds of cool stuff. That'll be at the Kiwi Marina Shores stage right there on the lake, overlooking the mountains on Lake Kiwi. That'll be next Friday, and that'll be from 7 to 8 p.m. We'll be doing our season preview show. So be sure to get there. And this show, you see it every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all in with CSN. And believe me, this one we love doing. We started this out just as something to keep you guys fresh and happy and infused with information throughout the late spring, early summer months, And I think we're just going to keep it going because we originally decided to wind it down to just back to our one show a month during football, or one show a week during football season. But I think we're going to keep it going. We're going to go with the Monday, Wednesday, but the Friday show will be the on-site show. That's going to be there. And then this one, we'll still do it here in Steel on Monday and Wednesdays, okay? So we decided to keep doing it, 6 to 7 o'clock. We might move it to 7 to 8 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday to coincide with the time that we do it on Fridays. But get ready. The Friday shows on-site are awesome. After next week, they're going to be at the Smoking Pig in Pendleton, South Carolina for every Friday night before a home game. Every Friday night before a home game, we'll have this show set up there with the lights and sound and all the good stuff, music, you name it, man. And we're going to be going same thing, Tiger trivia, giveaways, special guest hosts, Clemson alums, all kinds of people coming in to talk. That'll be going on at the Smoking Pig in Pendleton, right there on Highway 76 between Clemson and Anderson. Everybody knows where that's at. Great spot. We'll be in the beer garden. All you'll see is just going to look for the lights and the sound, have a big on-air sound to be up. You'll see it lit up, say on air. Look for us. Let's see. This show itself, like I said, wouldn't be able to put this show on the website. We wouldn't be able to do any of the work that we do covering this team that we have over the last 8.5 years with this website and this company if we didn't have the good folks like Ingalls. Love the prices. Low prices, love the savings. Gotta love Ingalls. Sorry about that dyslexia kicking in. The guys at Benson Ford, Mr. Crow and the gang down there at 123 Easy, been with us for 6 years. Love those guys. And the folks over at Oakway Tractor, Andy and the bunch, they've been with us for a couple of years now, going on year 3. So these are loyal sponsors with big time roots into this area and a lot of good reputation behind them. And we love having these folks out there with us, helping us provide all this for you, because what their sponsorship does is it allows us to be able to send staffers to cover the team, in town, out of town, and all sports. So, and these platforms we put out every day. But thank you to all of our sponsors. There's many, many, many more. We just took on True Auto Mart over in Easley. I want to say hey to Greg Steele and his bunch, or excuse me, Kevin Steele and his bunch over there. Greg's his brother, who owns Green's Tire, who is also a sponsor, by the way. But Kevin Green, his family-owned business, True Auto Mart, over there in Easley, Powdersville on 153. It's right across the street from Performance Motorsport, all that stuff at that big intersection. You'll find them over there. I mean, a lot full of bad A vehicles, okay? Everything from your cream of the crop Chargers and Mustangs and Vets to good old pickup trucks, Dodge Rams, and good family vehicles. He's got them all. Got them all right there. He told me the other day he has 80 cars on that little lot at one time. And it's not that little, but it's just got 80 cars on that lot is packed. So folks, go see Kevin Green over at True Auto Mart over there in Powdersville and tell him Clemson Sports News sent you. Just joined us yesterday. Just a pleasure to have you on board. So there you go, True Auto Mart, new sponsor. And hey, let's get to it. You guys ready? All right, let's go talk about backup quarterbacks. Okay, we released an article earlier this afternoon. Just kind of, we got to talk about it. Backup quarterback, where we stand. We have limited access to see how these guys play because as a media member, we get to go down there, get 45 minutes worth of access anytime that we've been into practice. In my many years of covering football down there, you can't make these kind of assessments just watching these guys go through the same drills over and over. And we literally get to see them do the same drills over and over. If I go down on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm watching them do the same thing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They're doing the same exact drills. We assume them do calisthenics. We assume them do their position drills. And they break into little subgroups like 5-on-5 and things like that. And by that time, before they get to the scrimmage part of it, we're all set away. So we can't see them, playing against defenses, how they react in reading coverages, things like that. I can tell you about their mechanics. I can tell you about the power of their arm strength. I can tell you about their footwork because I'm able to see that and assess it. And I've been able to do that, as an analyst very well. I'm pretty good at it. But so what we assessed in practice, I'll tell you nothing. And say, I'll give you a good example. Hunter Johnson. When Hunter Johnson came back to Clemson a couple years ago, just to play the backup role kind of thing, hang out. I was in there watching him warm up, and he gets in there. This is after he returned from Northwestern. He's the best. He looked the best. He's the best looking quarterback on the field. Over Cade Klubnik ever had the best ball. Threw the zip. I mean, just absolutely threw a hummer of a football. But he wasn't the guy because I wasn't there to see him interact in the drills. How did that transpose onto the 11-on-11? And so that's where the decisions are made, things like that. But if you go look at pure mechanics and arm strength, that day I'm sitting there watching him. He was the best quarterback I was watching. I was like, and I remember when Hunter Johnson committed, I literally got a call from the staffer that recruited him, called me before he to tell me that Hunter was committing to Clemson. This was like the day after Chase Bryce committed back in the day, 2014-15, that area. So, I know Hunter Johnson, but either way, that's what I'm talking about when you're talking about quarterbacks and how to assess them. It's hard to see them put them on the field and get put under pressure and watch them grow. Kind of like we did with Cade. If you go back as a Clemson fan and you want to watch quarterback development, watch Cade Klubnik for the last 2 years. Watch how Dabo treated him last year. He was going through his phases of making bad decisions, fumbles, putting balls in jeopardy. He learned from that. You have to allow for that. Not everybody's going to walk up like Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson in their freshman year and become the guy. Even with the 5-star ratings in the number 1 rankings, okay? You just can't be that guy for everybody. It doesn't exist. But so let's get to talking and breaking down these quarterbacks. The ones that we have on this roster right now, outside of Cade Klubnik. Let's get to Christopher Vezina. He reminds me of the aforementioned Chase Bryce. Now, got a bigger arm, bigger stature, and is more comfortable running the football than Chase Bryce was. Now, Chase was a head down, go get it if he had to with power run, quarterback run. He would run it. But Chase's arm was also limited. He was not a big arm guy. He was limited. I think over the top stuff he didn't have that good touch on. He was really good at intermediate throws. Stuff that's already timing route. His size at 6'1", sometimes kind of limited his, where you can see downfield. When you're underneath 6'3" or 4" as a quarterback, you're literally limited to what you can see over your line. Sometimes you have to make that space inside the pocket to find a throwing lane, they call it, right? And people know what I'm talking about. You know football, but throwing lanes are how you find places the ball just fit into the spaces. So this is what you got with a Christopher Vezina. You got a 4-star kid who came in with high accolades. You know, he's 6'4", 210. You know, he had coming out of high school. He threw for 7,000 yards, 60 touchdowns, had 30 rushing touchdowns as a high schooler. You know, I mean, he was prolific, and he played in a good Birmingham high school football team over there in Alabama. One of those big Briarwood Christian Academy in Birmingham. I mean, it was a big time program over there. So he came out, 5-star rankings. You know, came out. You know, he was borderline 5-star. Depending on who you listen to. I think he's the same thing. I think he's that guy. But he is a different animal than Cade Klubnik. He's a different animal than any of the aforementioned quarterbacks that we've had. I think you could say he's a more mobile version of a DJ Uiagalelei, but a focused young man. DJ was a little too laid back. Okay, you couldn't get him motivated. You couldn't get him. This kid was hard to motivate, and I could see it everywhere he went. That's why his progression. You just never saw him go anywhere progression-wise after that game in Notre Dame, where everybody's going, oh wow, look what we got coming next year. You know, we saw it. We saw the potential. He let loose that game. He had a receiving core that game. That's the other thing. You know, we'll go back to that. The receiving core, we started retracting the next year, but that took away pieces. But again, I think with the Zena, you got a guy that something, God forbid something happens, he can win these. He can literally manage these football games. And this football team can win with him every game out. He can win every single game. He's that kind of kid. From what I get, from what I've been hearing from my sources that have been able to access these 11-11 scrimmages and watching him take reps with the 2s and sometimes the 1s. Okay, so that's Tim. The heir apparent is what I call Christopher Zena. You can check the article. All right, so let's go down to my second option. I don't think it's going to be the Denson kid. I think Trent Pierman will be your next guy in line because he's been there this long. He knows the program. He's a guy that just could probably plug him in, and everybody there will respect him because they know him and have been around him and have watched him work hard to get there. And he knows the skill. I mean, he knows the playbook inside and out. So Trent Pierman will be the next guy. I call Trent the reliable walk-on. And I think they might have passed him on to a scholarship by now. Okay. So number 3, I got Chris Denson, the freshman, the dual threat. The transfer, the flip. The flip. Excuse me, the recruiting flip. It was going to go to Coastal. He was from Plant City, Florida. If you saw this film, Plant City's down here in Tampa. Big program. He did really well with them. 4,800 yards and 55 touchdowns in high school throwing the football. He was ranked number 27 by On3 as the quarterback overall in the nation. He had offers from Pitt, Southern Florida, and Florida State. His stats and on-the-field results, as a true freshman, he just have to play. So with no game, spring game, or practices or stats available as of today, I see a guy that's going to get chances in 4 games and I'll likely redshirt him. That'd be a smart move because he's 1, hitting the weight room, 2, learning the system, 3, becoming a true quarterback. This guy's got all kinds of all day long natural raw ability. One day he's going to be a scary handful for somebody when they get him out there. So Chris Denson, I got him your third option. Third option. 4th down the list. Okay. Now, what's left on the roster? You say, right? Well, there's Kate Trotter, and he's a walk-on from the 24 class. Again, he's the depth piece. Nothing to talk about here. He's a guy that's out there running the scout team, that kind of thing. Okay, and then we got Hunter Helms, the guy, the returning player coach, which seems to be a cool thing now with Dabo after last year's experience. What do you know about that? So Hunter Helms is back. His dad's a good guy. I know his dad. We talked a lot in the recruiting back in the recruiting days. Got to know Hunter as well back in recruiting. Good kid. Good to see him back. He took off. I think he did well playing. In his transfer at Rhode Island. He comes in as a player coach. And he's a safety valve if something happens. And not a bad one to have because he knows the offense. So, he's played enough snaps here that everybody's familiar with him. So, that's Hunter Helms. So, there are good quarterbacks. Now, go to the article. Read the article, and at the bottom you'll find an ad for our brand new sponsor, True Auto Mart. You can click on that and go straight to their social media page, and they'll show you some of their new listings and stuff they've got there. I'll have on the website, we'll have a 10-image slideshow going up for those guys shortly in the next 24 hours, which will feature 10 of their vehicles all day long on the website. You can click on and see what they got new at True Auto Mart at any time. So, but there you go. That's quarterbacks, guys. Let's move over to linebackers. The linebacker room. I put an article out this morning on the linebackers as well. Busy. So the linebacker story, pretty much. I consider them the cornerstone for this defense. For them to have success this year, not only is that, much ballyhooed and talked about defensive line got to do their job, but what's really got to happen is these linebackers got to take advantage of the space that's created by those guys doing their job. And what I mean by that is, and we talked about it when I talked about the defensive tackles back on Monday, and that is when you got guys getting double teamed, you're going to open up not only the outside where the ends sit, but the gaps, the interior gaps, the A gap, right there between guard and tackle are going to open up spaces as well. A center is not going to be able to take on two different blitzing linebackers. So if you got a 4 defense, that means four down linemen, defensive end, 2 tackles, defensive end, and 3 linebackers. You got 5 offensive linemen and a tight end. That's 6 guys trying to block 7 already. All right. If you got double team any of those 2, there's going to be a mismatch somewhere in there. And Tom Allen is the king of finding these out. And so here's the good thing about it. I keep telling everybody, Tom Allen, he's great about getting his key pieces in positions to make by scheming around to do that. But he's got more pieces now than he did at Penn State last year. He did it for Abdul Carter and a couple other pieces, but he's got multiple pieces here he can do things with. I mean, he's got some serious. Nobody's even talked about Jeremiah Alexander and what he's going to be. Okay, I mean that guy's going to be something else. So let's get down this list. All right, so there's Wade Woodaz, the senior, the elder statesman. A Florida Tampa kid, Jesuit high school, from down there in Tampa. Just been a great player over 3 seasons here. Had 159 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 3 picks, 6 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles in 36 games, 15 starts. And that's in 2024. He led with 89 tackles and 10 TFLs last year, 3 sacks last year, 6 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles, interception. He earned first-team All-ACC honors, second-team All-American. His 22 pressures as a blitzer, ranked top 20 among Power 4 linebackers. I mean, this guy, he played, remember the end of the year, he played hurt. He had that big bruise running down his leg. Disgusting. He couldn't even play for one game. He sat the Civil game and barely played the South Carolina game. But, amazing football player. I mean, you talk about development. The kid showed up looking like a safety. Okay? They turned him into a linebacker, just like I thought they would. But, believe me, Mickey Collins tried to do my safety for a minute, but he was not a safety. Ruined the linebacker body, but he's got that safety versatility. He can go out there and cover in the flat. He's great as an outside linebacker, a nickel. I think this year you'll see packages where he plays nickelback. I think you'll see Jeremiah Alexander and Sammy Brown as your 2 inside linebackers, and you'll have him out there playing nickel. Something strange like that, because he's able to cover out in the flat. He can cover a wide receiver for 5-10 yards in the flats and in an area, in a zone package kind of thing. So that could be going on. There's all kinds of things you can do. He's a Swiss Army knife of a guy. Okay. Then you got Sammy Brown, the sophomore, the phenom, the missile on feet, I call him. Watch out for Sammy Brown this year. I think that is the guy they're going to be scheming stuff up for all year. He's just like a shot out of a cannon, and when he puts his eye on something, he hits the target. He's like he reminds you of the old, when you put a snapping turtle on a log, he ain't letting loose. You know what I'm saying? If that snapping turtle sees something, he goes where he snaps. He's on it. That's Sammy Brown, man. This year, because last year he was walking around with his head on a swivel trying to figure things out, the speed of the game, trying not to be fooled, trying to learn the tricks of the trade, so to speak. Well, all that came to him last year. At the end of the year, he was a seasoned-looking football player and was starting to really come to his own. And you're going to see that this year. I think that first game you're going to see some crazy packages where some double teams are going to happen inside. Those A gaps going to open up and it comes blitzing straight around up the middle just to get a hold of Nussmeier before he can get the ball in his hands. There's going to be some good. There's some really cool stuff. Now I'm going to tell you, when we start breaking down this football game, there are a lot of parallels between these two linebacking cores. Okay, they've got their own version of Sammy Brown over there. We'll talk about him too, but that's when we're breaking down the game, and that'll start next week. All right, so Sammy Brown. Let's go to a linebacker number 3, and that is the transfer, Jeremiah Alexander. Now this dude has come in and impressed everyone. Dabo is his favorite player. I can tell. I know Dabo, and when he shines on almost 99% of his guys. I've never seen him shine on a guy like he did this one. And for the right reasons. Effort, initiative, work ethic, all that's there. These guys come in and set examples as a leader, as a one-year transfer. He's on the way out the door here. He's coming in. But this guy was, let me tell you something about Alexander. He was originally going to commit to Clemson back in the day. He got pulled in the Alabama thing, and he ended up in Alabama. It didn't work out for him. New staff got there. He said, here's my chance to go back to Clemson where I wanted to go to begin with. Peter Woods reached out to him. Boom, done deal. Good for us, because this guy's going to pay off. Now, he's a little limited in his outside ability from what I've seen. They say he's working hard on it. But, man, inside, he's a missile. He is a threat. You cannot run against this guy. Look out. Great piece to add. Let's go to the redshirt junior, Kobe McLeod. Got hurt there at the end of the year. McLeod, a couple times last year, got burned in coverage. Pittsburgh will be one game out over it. It was like he could not cover a back out of the backfield. Every time they ran right by him, he got burned on wheel routes every time. So that's something he's got to work on. The injury last year, we'll see what that does now. But he's got the tools to be a contributor. He'll be a guy that gets in there and plays and fills in gaps, puts in some snaps here in late in games and in certain situations, to give these guys breathers. Now let's get to the talent on the roster that hasn't been fulfilled yet. Jamal Anderson, the junior. This guy, it's his time. This is his time. It's time for Jamal Anderson to take that step. This guy came with a lot of hype. Okay, and he has had put on weight that I thought he should put on as yet. He came in that 2023 class out of Buford, ranked the number 40th linebacker in the country by 247. Out of high school, he had 88 tackles and 6 TFLs as a senior. Clemson here, it's been a development thing for him. Likely a guy to play outside and for special teams duties. He's been doing that since he got here. It's time for him to step up and put some meaningful snaps, I think, in behind the first team. But again, you got to see what's up with him with size and durability. And that was his thing. He looks like a safety. Okay. D. Creighton. Now, this guy I like, for sophomore. He was really starting to come across last year as well. But again, a guy having a hard time picking up some of these backers. Some of these running backs coming out of the background. I watched him last year get lost in coverage a couple times. Can't let that happen. But yeah, he's going to be a nice development guy. A guy that in a year or two could be really a solid linebacker player for you. Now, and then we'll get down to line number 7. This guy is really starting to make a lot of noise. Now, according to Dabo Swinney, he's the hardest linebacker. He's David Dunham. And if you know who David Dunham is, oh my God, there's a gif out there. You've probably seen it. It's a football. It's Clemson football player hitting Matt Ryan from Boston College right in the middle of the chest in Death Valley back in like 2007, 2004, something like that. And his helmet pops off. It's the hardest hit I've ever seen in Death Valley. I was there at the game. This is what he's being compared to. He's compared to that guy. That's what Dabo said out of Dabo's mouth. Compared him to those kind of hitters, like a Goodson. You remember Goodson a couple years ago? He knocked your head off. That kind of guy. So C.J. Cooper Taylor, redshirt freshman. Again, we got to see what he does in their deciphering offenses, reacting. I haven't seen any of that, so we'll see. The potential. He's a backup guy, but he's got a bright future. Someone we're going to be talking about for years to come. But right now, it's just a raw piece of meat that they're trying to develop. Bottom line. And then there's Logan Anderson, the freshman, another guy that comes in out of Alabama last year, 5. He came in and picked Clemson late over everybody else. I remember this. He's going to be a piece, a 6'2", 225. He's got an athleticism that fits Allen's scheme. He's a future star. But let's see what happens here in fall camp. I have not heard anything about him, so it tells me he's swimming out right now. He's probably just kind of getting used to things, kind of acclimating to the college. See, that's what happens with a lot of these guys coming out here highly ranked. They get out here and they get in the hell with It become from the big fish in the pond down to, hey, these guys, it's like all these same-size fish around me. All of a sudden, you're not standing out like you did back when you were in school. And that tends to affect guys, as far as getting in their groove. But that's college. That's football. That's practice. That's how it goes, man. That's called development. So here we are. So there you go. That's 8 linebackers we just went through those guys. I tell you, they are set up for success with Tom Allen's defense. Because Tom Allen's defense is set up to accentuate players with skill. And Clemson's linebacking core is loaded with guys that have exceptional skill. And what I mean there is not just your typical linebacker. Now, we brought B.J. Goodson. There's your typical linebacker. A guy that can sit there in the middle and call out offenses, responsibilities, shift over, make run support plays, and cover short flats. Limited, but a linebacker. But today's linebacker needs to be able to do that and play safety and hybrid between the two. You know what I mean, guys? You need to be Isaiah Simmons. Okay? That's what you need to be. They created that monster, and that's what everybody's looking for now. So, that guy is Khalil Barnes in Clemson's defense, who seems to be hurt right now. As far as the Swiss Army knife, they push around inside this defense. But yeah, hey, we're going to move on to those guys later. We're going to get off topic. Just go back, read the articles on Clemson Sports News. I did a lot of work on these guys today. And there's a little blurb I want to get to real quick before we close out the show here. Let me get here. Clemson men's basketball sent us thing. Oh, the Charleston Classic. It's on November 21st in Charleston. Clemson gets West Virginia in the first round, and they'll take on the winner of Georgia and Xavier in the championship game on the 23rd of November. And that's the Palmetto bracket, they call it, of the Charleston Classic down in Charleston, South Carolina. That's going to be on the 21st of November, basketball days. So, other than that, man, school's in. The kids show up today. School starts this week. They are all over it down there. It's exciting. It's great to see the fall getting here. We're just steamrolling ahead. Go to our social media pages, especially that Facebook page, guys. I'm telling you, 2 million views a week and climbing right now. By the time we get to football, we're going to be at 10 million plus views a week throughout the football season. It's going to be the place to get your Clemson football information. Now, I also do the crazy AI memes and cartoons and try to keep you engaged with content from other places. We share things in there, as well as from our sponsors. If you see ads in there, click on them, like them. Tell them what you think. Tell them you saw them when you go to visit their stores on Clemson Sports News. We'd appreciate it. They would too. So, hey, guys, until Friday, where I'll come back here again and update you on this week's news between now and then. You guys have a great day, and go Tigers.